born. And something happened that some in this room will remember, but none of the students were around when it happened. It was Iraq invaded the country of Iraq invaded the country of Kuwait. And someone walked into my office who was a Kuwaiti who I'd done some legal work for, and said, is there TV around here? And I said, yeah, I got TV on there somewhere. He said, well, can you turn it on? I said, sure, what's up? He said, well, I just lost my country. I said, what do you mean you just lost your country? He said, somebody took it away from me, meaning the troops from Iraq had invaded and taken the country. And about half the Kuwaitis were in the country and half of them were out of the country. In any event, this man, his name is Fawzi Sultan, you guys will have actually a chance to meet tonight because he said to me some things that literally changed the direction of my life. One is, could I help? Could I help get his country back? I said, well, what do you mean I'm a lawyer? I don't think you need lawyers at this point. He said, oh, you'd be surprised. He said, we think, we know that in America decisions are made by a vote. And by people to vote have to be educated and decide what's the right way to vote. And so we expect that we cannot get our country back without America's help. And we would like to explain to America why we're worth helping, why we're worth helping. And I said, okay, again, I'm just a lawyer. And he said, well, we think you're the right man to help us explain this. So, in any event, 25 years ago in 1990 and then again in 1991, I helped Kuwait in whatever way I could, mainly just common sense about how to communicate and how to make certain they didn't run afoul of laws that are set up to prevent inappropriate communication. And the result of all of that was that they formed an organization called the Kuwait America Foundation. If you turn to your books, you will see on page 9 a list of the members of the Kuwait America Foundation. And on the list, you'll see a couple of names that I want to point out to you. The top is a man named Sabah Al-Ahmed. Almost every name in Kuwait has Al, and then a hyphen mark. It means son of, and or from the family of. I got that right, Desmond? Son of or family? Yeah, the family of. And then the last is the actual family name. Sabah Ahmed is the ruler of Kuwait. He's an old man, probably close to death, frankly. But his family, the Sabah family, have ruled Kuwait for several hundred years. And they've never had to resort to any violence to do that. They just were actually chosen 300 or 400 years ago, I'm told, as the tribe who would be the best to be the leader of a group of tribes coming out of Saudi Arabia. And they created this country that we now call Kuwait. So he's involved in the Kuwait America Foundation. Then there are two men in particular who will be tonight at an event you're going to at the Kuwait Embassy. Hassan Al-Ibrahim, who is the chairman of the Kuwait America Foundation, and over on the right, Fawzi Al-Sultan. Fawzi was the man who came to my office and told me that they needed help. Hassan was the man that Kuwaitis turned to be their communicator, their person, their point person. He became the chair of what became the Kuwait America Foundation after the country was liberated in 1991. And the rest of the people are very prominent Arabs, and all Kuwaitis with one exception. You'll see my name on the list. I'm the only American on this list for 25 years. Don't ask me to explain why that is, but that's the way it is. And maybe it's because I I give them free legal advice. So you can get a lot when you give free advice away. But in any event, the Kuwait America Foundation, after it was created, wanted to say thank you to America, to individuals in America. I wanted to continue communicating that Kuwaitis care about the same things that we care about. In fact, pretty much that every country cares about, which is the future of their country, peace and safety, opportunities for youth to live a happy life. That's pretty much what every person who has children cares about in every country on the planet. And they wanted to communicate that, and they didn't know how. So an idea occurred to me as a result of actually a meeting with my family one night where I had, was struggling with trying to figure out why two young people had gotten into a fight, and the paper had said one had killed the other over a pair of shoes. And my family suggested that I should ask kids. So that's how the program started. We created a pilot program in DC with support of the Kuwaitis, and it's grown from that. The real thing that has happened, though, that has surprised the heck out of me is that it's still around. Because when we created it, we just thought, oh, this is a good idea. Let's learn from young people what causes someone to become violent. And the power of the words of now a whole generation of young people, starting 23 years ago, is what created the motivation for so many people to either volunteer their help or volunteer their money so that we still have this program today. So if someone says to me, why are all these students and parents and teachers and coordinators able to come to Washington, I would say because of the power of the words of students who preceded you and wrote essays about their life, or about maybe the life of a brother or a sister or a friend or someone they knew who had experienced something violent, and they wanted to communicate that. This program is not, by the way, you're not here because you won something. Somebody may have used those words with you, but it's not correct. You're here because someone saw in you, I'm talking to the students now, the potential to be someone who could help shape our country to be a better, safer country. That's why you were selected to become what we call a national ambassador. You are here to start your journey of trying to help shape America to be a better place for your kids and for the kids of everyone else. And while you're here, you'll have an opportunity to meet with some prominent people in the Department of Education and in the Department of Justice, and you'll meet with some prominent people from Kuwait, and you'll meet with some prominent people in the federal government, either senators or congressmen or their staff. And I hope you will behave like an ambassador. You've been given a business card, hand it out. That's what it's all about. Maybe you'll collect some others. Your words have been put into a book that will be placed in the Library of Congress, which is the most important library in the world, and will be there forever, along with the words of everyone else who's participated in this program over the last 23 years. The program has been measured, and it has been shown to shape a lot of people. It shapes teachers sometimes in how they interact with their students and maybe understand them better. It shapes parents sometimes in how they interact with their children. And it shapes, we hope, you as students, and it shaped and motivated thousands of volunteers. In every city that you come from, there are dozens, if not hundreds of people who are involved in this program and are motivated by words like the ones you have written. While you're here, please take the opportunity to say thank you, not only to the chair or coordinator from your city, but to the two men I mentioned who you'll meet tonight at the Kuwait Embassy. You'll also meet the ambassador from the country of Kuwait, who's a great man who's been very supportive of the program. He's the senior ambassador in Washington, meaning he's been here as an ambassador longer than an ambassador for any other country. And you can give him your card and say, now you're ambassadors as well. He represents a country, you represent a cause. So that's why you're here. Now it's an honor for me to introduce a young woman who is a little bit ahead of where you are. She, like you, like so many of you, was the victim of bullying and was not involved in our program, although I hope you will be in the future. I want to read to you something from her card that she's created for the program that she's started. Her program, by the way, is called Empowerkindness. And her name is Emma Socia, and she's going into the 7th grade in Westland, Michigan, which is about 30 miles outside of Detroit. Last year, Emma was a victim of severe bullying. She decided to take a stand, created a foundation called Empowerkindness to spread awareness against bullying so that no other child endured the same experience she had. Instead of seeing herself as a victim, she has become a victor because she refuses to allow this bad experience to define her. She's now creating a movement with her wristbands to show her message of kindness. We've asked Emma at the young age of, how old are you, Emma?
Turning 12.
Turning 12, to speak to you today about her experience in trying to change the world. Come on up, Emma.
My name is Emma Socia. I'm honored to speak before you today to tell you about my personal experience and share with you how my anti-bullying foundation Empowerkindness came to be. On April 23rd, 2015, I was riding home from my school on my school bus. It was a regular day home, just like all the other days. I was talking with my friends, laughing, just being a 10-year-old kid. A 12-year-old boy that was twice my size had been bullying me all year. He decided to dump a chemical mixture of bleach, vinegar, and other items on my face, and it temporarily blinded me. I had to sit on the bus for 2 more bus stops, unable to see, in my smelling clothes. After this boy has continued to harass me, he threatened me with a gun photo on Instagram, and shortly that I had a bullet hole outside my house. I pressed charges against him and began to use my voice for not only myself, but the number of kids that he had hurt. I started using my voice for all the other kids in my community who had been bullied and hurt due to violence. I felt like I had a job to do for all the other kids of the world who needed a voice. I never saw myself as a victim, but a victor, because I had the mindset that even though he never said he was sorry, I still forgave him. I had the opportunity to make a choice. I could let this defeat me, or I could let it empower me. My nickname has always been Empower, ever since I was in the 3rd grade. My best friend and I gave each other's nicknames back then when I was in 3rd grade. Last year, when I decided to do something about my experience to help others and get my community involved, I thought Empowerkindness was the perfect name. Empowerkindness' mission is provided tools against bullying to do random acts of kindness and pay it forward. I've provided wristbands for all the essay winners today so that when you wear your band, you can be encouraged to remember that in spite of what your situation is or was, that doesn't define you either. Feel empowered to make a difference by getting involved in your schools and neighborhoods. Do the right thing. Volunteer, speak up, and stand up. Don't let your temporary setback determine your permanent outlook on your future. You have the power to say that I can and I will make a difference. It just takes one person to stand up and challenge someone who is trying to tear someone else down. People may not always like you or the journey that you're taking, but that's okay. It's your journey to make a difference. You have to be the change that you want to see in others. Something in your life has affected you to put that pen to the paper and write about your life, how you will bring peace and change. I want to encourage all of you today to be proud of yourselves for overcoming, for being leaders and recognizing the world needs more kids like us, to let them know we're here. We care, we won't go unheard. Use your voice and please remember to always empower kindness.